What if I told you there's an acoustic mystery hiding in the deepest parts of our oceans? A sound so strange, it still makes scientists scratch their heads. For over 2 decades, something massive and unknown made a noise that echoed across the Pacific, dubbed the bloop. Could it be an undiscovered creature, a geological phenomenon, or something far more bizarre? The ocean is a world we still barely understand. More than 80% of it remains unexplored. Its depths darker than night and older than time. Down there, pressure crushes steel, sunlight never reaches, and life, if it exists, must take forms beyond imagination. It was from this world that one of the strangest and loudest sounds ever recorded by humanity emerged. A sound that seemed alive. A sound that would travel across thousands of miles of open ocean. And a sound that, to this day, no one has fully explained. This is the story of the bloop. The year was 1997. In a remote corner of the Pacific Ocean, roughly between Chile and Antarctica, a network of underwater microphones called hydrophones was quietly listening. These hydrophones weren't meant for mystery hunting. They were part of a project run by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, originally designed during the Cold War to detect submarines and undersea explosions. For decades, they'd listened to the deep, tracking whale songs, iceberg collisions, and the distant rumble of the Earth itself. But that year, something unexpected echoed through the network. A single enormous burst of sound. Low, deep, organic, and so powerful it was detected by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. It wasn't just loud, it was unprecedented. The signal lasted for about 1 minute. It rose rapidly in frequency, the way a living creature's call might, but on a scale no known animal could produce. Scientists who first analyzed it couldn't believe what they were hearing. They called it the bloop, a playful name for something that defied explanation. To put it in perspective, the loudest recorded animal on Earth, the blue whale, can reach up to 188 decibels underwater. But the bloop was estimated to be several times louder. In fact, if it was an animal, it would have to be larger than any living creature known to science, far larger even than the largest whales. That realization sent a shiver through the scientific community. Imagine for a moment the scale required to produce a sound, heard across an entire ocean basin. It wasn't a local echo. It wasn't a malfunction. It was something vast, deep, resonant, and alive sounding. But if not a creature, then what? Over the following years, NOAA recorded many other undersea sounds, some known, some unknown. They categorized them with simple names: Julia, train, slow down, whistle. Each had distinct acoustic characteristics. Each came from somewhere in the abyss. But none were as powerful or as eerily organic as the bloop. When scientists sped up the audio recording, compressing its deep, slow rumble into something human ears could better perceive, it genuinely sounded biological, a bubbling, croaking roar, rising in pitch, just like a whale's call, but impossibly vast. People began to speculate. Some thought it was a colossal squid, long rumored to inhabit the ocean's deepest trenches. Others imagined a new kind of leviathan, a creature so large it had evaded detection simply because it lived in places no human could reach. The idea captured public imagination. News outlets, documentaries, and online forums filled with wild theories. Could it be a prehistoric survivor from a forgotten age? Could it be some unknown species of whale, still undiscovered? Or, as some dared to whisper, was it something not entirely of this world? Then came another twist, one that blurred the line between science and fiction. Around the same time, popular culture picked up on the mystery. The H.P. Lovecraft story of Cthulhu, an ancient cosmic sea being sleeping beneath the Pacific, suddenly resurfaced in discussions. Fans noticed that the supposed location of the bloop's origin, somewhere near 47 degrees 9 minutes south and 123 degrees 43 minutes west, was eerily close to the coordinates given in Lovecraft's writings for the sunken city of R'lyeh, where the monstrous Cthulhu lay dreaming. It was pure coincidence, of course, but a poetic one. Soon, the internet had found its myth. The bloop wasn't a geological sound. It was the call of something ancient awakening beneath the waves. But back in the real world, scientists pressed on for answers. For years, NOAA analyzed the data, comparing it to every known sound signature in the ocean. Whales, icebergs, underwater earthquakes. Everything was tested, but nothing quite fit, until, over a decade later, the mystery began to unravel. In 2012, NOAA officially announced that the bloop was not, in fact, a sea creature. They believed it was the sound of icequakes, massive icebergs cracking and breaking apart in the waters off Antarctica. When ice breaks under stress, it can generate deep, powerful, resonant sounds that travel vast distances underwater. Some of these sounds, the researchers discovered, match the bloop's profile almost perfectly. The explanation made sense, and yet, something about it still felt incomplete. Even among scientists, not everyone was satisfied. For one, the sound's tonal pattern was distinctly unusual. It had a kind of pulse, a rhythm that seemed too structured for random ice movement. The sheer amplitude of it, the loudest ever recorded, also puzzled some researchers. Icequakes, even large ones, rarely produce consistent signals across thousands of miles. And so, for all the logical explanations, a small but persistent question remains. What if the ocean still hides something vast enough to make that sound? The truth is, the deep ocean is one of the last truly unexplored frontiers on Earth. We've mapped the surface of Mars and the Moon in more detail than our own seafloor. At depths beyond 10,000 feet, the ocean becomes a pressurized wilderness, pitch black, alien, and timeless. Entire ecosystems have been discovered there, built around hydrothermal vents, where no sunlight ever reaches. Creatures that glow in the dark, that breathe chemicals instead of oxygen, that survive in conditions we once thought impossible, if such life exists. Why couldn't something larger, stranger, and older be hiding further below? Even today, new deep-sea sounds are still being recorded, and still defying explanation. Some are seismic, some are biological, and some, no one knows. The bloop may have been an iceberg, or it may have been something else entirely. A whisper from the abyss, reminding us that the ocean is not a silent place. It breathes, it shifts, it speaks. We just don't always understand what it's saying. Imagine yourself on a research ship late at night, somewhere south of the Pacific equator. The wind is calm, the sky is empty, and beneath the hull, thousands of meters down, the ocean stirs. The hydrophones hum quietly until, out of nowhere, a low rising roar rolls through the darkness. A sound that seems alive, powerful, distant, yet immense. You can't see it. You can't measure it. You can only listen. And as it echoes across the sea, fading slowly into nothing, you realize that our planet still keeps secrets deep below. Secrets older than humanity, older than land itself. Maybe the bloop was an iceberg. Maybe it was geology. Or maybe it was something else. Something alive. still moving beneath the frozen waters, waiting for us to listen again. Because the ocean doesn't forget. Its memories drift in waves and sound, hidden in frequencies too low for us to hear. And somewhere, far below, perhaps that mysterious voice still echoes. A reminder that the sea has depths we cannot imagine, and that even in the age of satellites and science, there are still things beneath the surface that defy explanation. That is the mystery of the bloop, the sound from the deep that refuses to be silenced.